Love can truly drive people mad, but sometimes it creates unforgettable stories. Some have loved so deeply that they brought down entire empires. Some have composed melodies that will be remembered for a lifetime. And some have left entire kingdoms behind just to follow their hearts. From songs and poems to romantic doorstep clue cards, people have found countless ways to express their love. But some went beyond all that. Here are some of the greatest gestures made in the name of love throughout history. 1. The Taj Mahal, a monument of love. A breathtaking masterpiece that everyone knows, but when you hear its story, you fall in love with it all over again. The Taj Mahal, one of India's most iconic landmarks, is truly the embodiment of love. An extraordinary love at an extraordinary cost. When Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan lost his most beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal, he was utterly devastated. For 2 years, he abandoned music, festivities, and all joy, living in deep mourning. But his grief wasn't just expressed in tears. He decided to immortalize her memory by building the most magnificent mausoleum the world had ever seen. The construction of the Taj Mahal took over a decade to complete. Thousands of workers, artisans, and architects toiled day and night. The empire's economy nearly collapsed under the weight of this colossal project. And all of it for the memory of a single woman loved beyond measure. This stunning white marble wonder, built from heartbreak, continues to inspire millions to believe in the power of love. And what about Shah Jahan? When he died in 1666, he was laid to rest beside his beloved within the Taj Mahal itself. Now that's what it means for love to transcend time.
2. Richard Wagner's Surprise Symphony. Now get ready, because this story might just outshine every romantic gesture ever made. The famous German composer Richard Wagner is often known for his bold and grandiose music. But one day, he did something so incredible that even today people ask, could anything be more romantic? It all happened on Christmas morning in 1870. Wagner's wife, Cosima Wagner, woke up feeling that something was different. There was a soft melody drifting through the house. But this wasn't just any music. So, what had happened? Wagner had secretly composed an entire symphony from scratch as a birthday gift for Cosima's 33rd birthday. And instead of simply playing it for her later, he arranged for a 15-piece orchestra to perform it on the staircase of their home, waking her up to the sound of her very own symphony. Completely overwhelmed, Cosima couldn't hold back her tears and later wrote in her diary, "When I woke up, I heard a sound. It grew louder and louder. I no longer knew if I was dreaming or awake. But then I realized it was music. And what music it was." This piece later became the world-famous Siegfried Idyll, a symphony that started as a birthday gift, but went on to capture the hearts of people everywhere. And here we are, struggling to find the right words to express love. Meanwhile, this man wrote one of the greatest symphonies in history for his wife.
3. King Edward VIII, the monarch who gave up his throne for love. Kings are born to rule, right? But when love enters the picture, everything can change. In 1936, Edward VIII ascended to the British throne. Yet, he remained king for only a single year. Why? Because he fell for a woman so deeply that the entire country was thrown into turmoil. Her name was Wallis Simpson, an American woman who had been divorced. At the time, this was a major scandal for the British royal family. Officials, the public, and the press all declared, a king cannot be with a divorced woman. Edward was forced to make a choice, his love or his throne. And what did he do? He abdicated the throne. He essentially said, "You can have the kingdom, I just want my love." In 1937, he married Wallis and spent the rest of his life in France. Yes, he gave up a crown, but he gained a lifetime of love and happiness. While most people spend their lives fighting for power, Edward made history as the only king to give up his throne for love. And his most iconic words were forever etched in history. If a man is not allowed to marry the woman he loves, What is the point of being king? Sometimes, love can overshadow an entire nation.
4. Elizabeth Barrett Browning's Sonnets. As we trace the greatest love stories in history, we find a breathtaking literary romance. Elizabeth Barrett Browning and Robert Browning. Their love story is one of the most romantic in literary history, not just expressed in letters, but immortalized in poetry. The most unforgettable testament to their love was Sonnets from the Portuguese, published in 1850. But here's the twist. These sonnets weren't actually from Portugal. Elizabeth Barrett Browning had written a series of 44 sonnets dedicated to her deep love for her husband. But she kept them hidden, believing they were far too personal to share. That is, until Robert Browning mentioned that something was missing in her poetry. And in that moment, Elizabeth revealed her secret. Actually, I've written 44 sonnets filled with love, just for you. The moment Robert read them, he insisted that she publish them. But Elizabeth, feeling they were too private, agreed only on one condition, that they be presented as translations of old Portuguese sonnets rather than personal works. And so, they gave the world their love, hidden in plain sight, yet eternal. And from that collection came one of the most famous lines in poetry. "How do I love thee? Let me count the ways." Now that's how love is written.
5. The Man Who Escaped a Nazi Camp. 200 Times for Love, Horace Greeley. Nothing can stand in the way of love, not borders, not rules, not even barbed wire. At least, not for Horace Greeley, because he was a man who escaped a Nazi prisoner camp 200 times just to see the woman he loved. During World War II, Greeley was a British soldier who was captured by the Nazis in 1940 and sent to a prison camp in Germany. It was there that he met Rosa Rauchbach, a Jewish woman working as the camp's translator. They fell madly in love, but their time together was cut short when Greeley was transferred to another camp, 64 kilometers away. A normal person would have given up. But this was Horace Greeley, a man in love. Since he was too deep in Nazi territory to plan a full escape, he came up with an insane plan. He started sneaking out of the camp 4 times a week, just to see Rosa. Think about it. Every week, 4 times, he would climb over barbed wire, dodge Nazi guards, meet Rosa, and sneak back in, all without being caught. And Rosa wasn't just waiting either. She risked her life to smuggle food and supplies to Greeley and other prisoners. His daring escapes continued until 1945, when he was finally freed. But their love story had a tragic ending. After the war, Rosa died while giving birth, and according to some accounts, the father of her child was Horace Greeley himself. This story remains one of the greatest proofs that not even war can stand in the way of true love.
6. Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe, a love that never faded. If you believe that true love is about loyalty, then the story of Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe is for you. Because even after losing the love of his life, DiMaggio never stopped showing his devotion. The two married in 1954, but their marriage lasted only 274 days. Monroe's rising stardom and DiMaggio's jealousy put a strain on their relationship. Yet despite their separation, DiMaggio never forgot her. After Monroe's tumultuous marriage to Arthur Miller ended, it was DiMaggio who helped her recover from an emotional breakdown. Some even say Monroe was considering remarrying him before her untimely death.